Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Thursday, August 4th, and we are here answering your financial questions. The way we do that is we solicit you. Mark, I would like to get arrested for solicitation. Okay, just kidding. We solicit your help. Just go to our website, jillonmoney.com. Click on the Contact Us button. Let us know if you'd be willing to come on the air. Oh, by the way, Mark, last weekend, as part of my training for my 275 miles, I did 42 and a half miles on the bike outside. My tush was hurting a little. Actually, my tush was okay. And my endurance was okay. Weird tingling in my feet. My feet were tingling a little. And I think it's because of maybe the way I'm sitting. Maybe my shoes are a little bit tight. I don't know. But that's something to pay attention to for me. And I did the whole ride. Usually Jackie comes with me for the first half, but it was a big weekend at the household. And so I did the whole thing by myself. You do a lot of thinking on that bicycle. I'll tell you that much. It's very meditative in a weird way. So that was good. And thanks to everyone who's been donating to the cycle, which is on the website. We'll have to take that down to make room for the book. The book is coming, gang. And it is going to be great. I'm very excited about it. So, Mark, I'm doing one final round now. I just want you to know that after, this has been reread 50 times by various people. I still right now have a list of 12 things that need to be corrected. I don't know though, but it's the ed. I don't know how people do editing for a living. It's so exhausting, and it's the words just blur in, and you make the change of what you think it should be in your head, so you don't even notice it. I think that's what happens. So anyway, that's it. I got the book. I got the bike. Anything else with a B? I got a beak, also known as my nose. I got a lot. Oh, last thing is. All these people, summertime, and I want everyone to really enjoy themselves. But for those of you who are like, oh, let's just go outside and have drinks and then we'll go inside in the nice air conditioning. I got 12 mosquito bites over the weekend. One friend who insisted on being outside. It's not that hot. I mean, besides it's not hot, it is so buggy out. Well, here in the Northeast it is. I don't know where it is it's probably not so buggy when there's been no rain, but I tell you, they love me, Mark. You know why? Because I'm so sweet. Don't I sound sweet right now? Okay, let's get some emails done because Mark says we got to move. We've got a lot of emails. This is from Mike, who says, I currently have a 401k with a former employer, and I have a 457 retirement savings plan at my current employer. I also have a Roth IRA brokerage account. Should I roll the 401k to the 457 or to the Roth IRA brokerage account? It depends on a few things, Mike. Number one, how much money's in the old 401k? If there's $10,000 in the old 401k and we can put it into the Roth and you basically do a conversion. I think you'd have to go through one extra step. You may or may not have to, but it would be 401k to IRA rollover to a Roth IRA. That would be preferable. But if you're going to convert, all the money will now turn into ordinary income. So is that going to pop you up into a new tax bracket? Or are you already in a high tax bracket? Also, if you were to roll over to your current employer, would the 457 accept the 401k assets? May not. We need more information, Mike. Okay, Jennifer. Oh, I like the subject line. Should I get an umbrella insurance policy? Hi, Jill and Mark. I love listening to the podcast. Thank you for the important information you share. You're welcome, Jennifer. Thanks for listening. Okay, Jennifer says, I'm making some updates to my home and auto insurance. New teen driver, yikes. And I am being sold an umbrella policy. I've done some reading about them. I'm wondering what your take is now that we have more assets in retirement. Is this something that I should be considering? All right, so let's just give you the quick rundown on these folks. 45-year-old couple, one 15-year-old son, also known as the moving tort because he'd be driving and causing some mayhem. Okay, they make 125 and 65 stable employment, 50 grand in cash, 10 grand in bonds, 8,000 in a brokerage account, 50,000 in a 529, 950 in retirement, some of it Roth. Home is worth $450 with a $290,000 30-year mortgage refinanced during COVID to 3%. No other debt. Okay, so first of all, deep breath, gang. When you have an asset in retirement accounts, a 401k as opposed to a IRA, but if it's a 401k, then any sort of litigation that would ensue because of an accident or anything like that, retirement assets are protected. Let's presume that's the case, okay? That, you have those monies in a retirement account, whether it's Roth or not, it's a company plan, not subject to litigation. So that means we've got the 50, the 10, the 8, and the home equity. Here's the thing that I think about umbrella policies. I like them. It's probably a waste of money. I'm sure that someone will have done the financial analysis, but they're so cheap. Why not? Why not have it? Do you have it, Mark?
Yeah, it's funny because I was just looking. We got pitched a new policy through Amanda's work, so I pulled out our current policy. And like you said, it's cheap. For $1 million, the annual premium I think is $359.
I know. It's sort of like a very low dollar amount for sleep at night. For everyone listening, it's sort of like this catch-all, so that if someone, like, it doesn't even have to be like a driving thing. What about if there's a contractor in your house and the contractor has an accident of some sort that's not the contractor's fault, but it's your fault for some reason? They were working on your house, they fell for your roof, whatever. So I think it's good to have it. So I say go for it. Okay. Next question's from Edward, whose son is buying a house where he will be settling in October. Mortgage broker steering towards a variable mortgage. I think with the Fed increases that are being predicted, this may not be the best idea. Oh boy, looks like a little PTSD mortgage here, Mark. Wife and I lived through the 70s and 80s. My memory is that the variable rate mortgages were problematic as interest rates increased. Okay, let's see. My son's a school teacher. I don't want to see him get in over his head. He's got 2 and 4-year-old kids. Will his mortgage broker make more money on the variable rate mortgage? I just see this as a time to not get a variable rate mortgage. Am I wrong, Jill? The house is $600,000 and a variable rate can quickly jump. So I think this is a great question for right this second. So let's say that 30-year mortgage rates are around 5.5%, which is roughly double where they were a year ago. I know, it's crazy. The premise that the mortgage broker might be presenting to your son is that let's do a variable rate that's not variable in the first few years, but maybe locks you in for a 5 or a 7 or a 10-year period of time, and then becomes variable after that or adjusts after that. So if that's the case where there's a period of time where the rate is fixed, then I'm more interested in it. But you're right. If it's just a straight up variable rate, immediately after you assume it and it jumps and it is adjusting based on some rate, some short-term lending rate, then it can be dangerous. Would he be able to buy the home with a 5.5% mortgage? Is there something that he could do to maybe smooth out the variability? But I do think that there is a place for the variable rate loan in this environment, presuming you know all the details. In the 2003 to 8 housing boom, I think the biggest problem was that people didn't understand the details of what they had assumed in terms of their debt. This is a situation where if we know all the information, we can compare what the fixed rate would be, the payment would be. We can compare what a variable or adjustable rate mortgage would be and outline where the risk lies. So I don't think it's terrible, but I do think we got to know a lot of the details. Okay. This is from Katie, who says, thanks for all of your insights. For the last couple of years, I have been converting my traditional IRA to a Roth little by little. You and Mark really sold me on that plan. Mark, don't you feel great success when you hear that? You, Mark, you've sold us on it.
I really feel like I'm able to relate to our audience.
I know. You're the best. You're so relational. You really are. And empathic. However, sometimes it sounds like you don't think that it is the best thing to do when you are talking to others. I mean, it always depends on the situation. Okay, Katie, let's hear it. Katie's got about $123,000 that's still in her traditional. She converts 10 grand a year to stay in a lower tax bracket. She has the money to pay the taxes that are due outside of the account. She just wanted to double check, make sure she's still on track. And it's going to take over 12 years to get everything converted. Sounds like a great game plan, Katie. I like it. The only time we don't love a conversion would be when there is a need for the cash, that we know that you need to conserve cash on hand. That's, I think, the one time where I get a little nervous. Okay. Also, if you're very close to retirement, there's a case to be made that you could just pull the money out of the account and use it to live on until you're claiming your higher Social Security benefit, maybe at age 70. So that's another area where it may make sense to not necessarily convert. Okay, here's the question from Gloria, who writes, I'm being advised by my financial planner to purchase long-term healthcare insurance. Costs about $3,800 per year for her life. The benefit is $3,000 per month, maxed out at 60 months. I think it's end or $180,000. I'm 58. I'm still working. Okay, let's see what Gloria's got. 401k and Roth, that should be about $1 million in 7 to 8 years. $250,000 in equity in the home. Husband is older. He receives pension and Social Security now. He does not have long-term health. We also have a second home that has equity, about 125 grand. This might work for you, okay? But here's a couple of questions. Would you be entitled to your husband's pension if he were to predecease you? I'm interested in that. Because if you have his pension and if you are still working and would continue to work and be able to claim on your own Social Security record, maybe there's some idea that you could float it, but you are in that particular donut hole of risk because you're now married. You have, let's say, about we'll pretend it's 7 or 8 years from now when you're thinking about retirement, you would have about $1.5 million, $1 million in the retirement, another $500,000 or maybe even $1 million in equity in your homes. So, it could be that this is something you should consider. I would be interested in knowing what you would be willing to do as well. If your husband were to get sick, would you sell that second home? Could you free up some of that equity? But this is not bad. Mark, do you feel like this one's okay? I mean, I'm sort of intrigued to hear some of the details. I'd like to know, what else happens in this account and in this retirement account and how much they're living on right now. But it doesn't seem like a terrible idea.
Doesn't sound awful, but like you said, I'd love to know how much the pension is and what she would be entitled to.
Yeah, because if you could have, I don't know, if you could have some of that pension money, that could be really appealing. Give us some more details when you write in, especially if you don't want to come on the air. Don't forget to give us some more details. Even if you just grab a screenshot or take a picture with your phone and send it to us so we can look at it, that would be helpful. All right, that's it. That's the show. It is August and many of you are relaxing, chilling out. Great, good for you. But if some sort of, let's say you're mid-walk, mid-hike, mid-activity, and a financial issue pops into your head, you don't want to let it plague you. You don't want to let it ruin your day or the rest of your vacation. Why don't you take whatever questions on your mind and put it down, and then you could send it to us, and then it's off of your shoulders. So all you need to do is go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, let us know if you'd be willing to come on the air, and Mark will do the rest. While you are on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter and check out all the neat content we have on the website. Also, if you wouldn't mind, leave us a rating and review on Apple. Do me a favor. Do something nice for someone else today, and we will be very delighted to talk to you tomorrow. Grit, growth, grace. Thanks for listening.